What's up, Weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and today we're on a mission of mercy. Shayleesi has been without Willem Dafoe's The Green Goblin for much too long, and usually when I'm going on a rescue mission for Harley-Davidson parts, I think it's really funny to ride a Honda. But today, it's brother helping brother, and we're taking the barf party. Or the Vomit Comet. Everyone goes like, I thought it was called the Vomit Comet now. It's got 10 different names. Don't ask me to pick just one name. I'm not gonna do it. But the way Barf Party's running, the 1250 kitting Electron carb on old dirty bastard, the Dirtster, I think it's probably about time, well, once we get it running anyway, to go ahead and slap a little more power into Shayleesi's Green Goblin. Although with the 200-pound weight difference between the two of us, I think that she still would probably keep up with me. I don't know, maybe. The Vomit Comet goes pretty damn hard. It's crazy how much power this thing still has above 80 miles an hour. And even in top gear, the fact that you can still just roll on it and it moves, that's exactly what I want out of a big inch motor. You guys better watch out, dude. It's an Altima, the most dangerous vehicle on the road, and they want to get by, baby. We got Lil Aiden in the passenger seat, floor full of backwood guts, whole thing smelling like black ice, no insurance, cutting off the CRV, 2 donuts on it. That is a dangerous vehicle. When it comes to being on 2 wheels and being surrounded by cars, you got to choose your battles. And you will find me giving Ultimas a wide berth. All right, let's see what the boys in the Ride Factory got going on today. I am being dead honest right now. I don't know if I love this or I hate this. I wonder if did it come like this? Is this something that gets sold? It is pretty cool. I would probably pick it over the Skull hand speakers. I can't tell if I love it or hate it. Like on the side, it definitely looks goofy. Looking at the front, dude, that's a pretty cool way to disguise a speaker. Intake seals and an oil filter in stock at the Ride Factory, of course. And can you order these from Buddy Bezos? You can, but I'll tell you this, actually on a whole lot of Harley parts like this, there ain't no one-day shipping from Buddy Bezos, but there's same-day pickup, as long as you remember to support your local motorcycle shop. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, go to the Ride Factory. And if you're not in the Tampa Bay area, just find someone near you who's your neighbor. That starter is moving a lot of beef down there. Oh, it's right down the street from the Ride Factory. I would be remiss if I didn't swing by the old Dirty Shame and see if Richard was around. Let's see, do I spy a Goldwing or a BMW back here? And I do. Well, this video is turning out all over the place, but at least Shayleesi's busting out the F6B again. I'm, of course, going to be on the Road King, the Teal Deal, baby, the giveaway bike. That's actually happening here pretty soon. We're, of course, here at Kira Adderley's House for Young Women, the future Kira Adderley's House for Young Women, which is happening because of all of you guys' amazing support and, of course, David's contribution of his Blackbird, something he was happy to do. And I know y'all's support is something that y'all are happy to do as well. Anyway, someone's getting the Teal Deal, baby. Somebody's getting that twin cam Road King, and it's going to make him a hell of a bike. I wish I could give a motorcycle to everybody. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, but somebody's getting a phone call on a trip down to Florida. But for right now, we're going riding. Things are all up in the air. We're all over the place. I'm not sure where we're going to be in a couple days. Unfortunately, I don't think Shayleesi's Sportster is going to get fixed in this video. That was really kind of my goal, is to have her Sportster fixed. It needs intake seals. We got so many different things happening, going in so many different directions that literally, I am not lying to you when I say that her Sportster might get fixed by next month. And maybe not even then. We might, at this point, we're shooting for hopefully before the October camp out. I know that sounds ridiculous. I promise if you knew what was going on in my life and how many obligations that we have outside of YouTube, then you would understand that even saying hopefully getting it fixed before the camp out, that is still being kind of optimistic. I'm gonna miss the Teal Deal. When it's achieving something as amazing as what we're trying to make happen with the Kira Adderley House for Women, I'll miss it, but I'll be happy to see it go too. Not happy to see it go because I don't like it. I really like this bike. Happy to see it go because I know it's accomplishing amazing things. One of these days I'll get me a nice Road King. Still haven't made up my mind whether I want it to be a twin cam or an Evo. As far as this Road King goes though, someone out there is getting a nice Road King. It's got a good sound. I don't know if I'd even change the pipes at this point. And at this point, someone's winning the bike, so we're not changing the pipes. I had all these dreams, like I was gonna like do a special build on this bike or something like that. That's something I should have known better about. I dreamed big, thinking I was gonna do a build on this Road King was the height of fantasy on my part. Now it's a fantasy I was indulging in because I wanted to do that, but still, ridiculous thing to think I was going to have time to do. Fishtails or not, you can choose to put them on. I'm telling you right now, rolling down the road, it sounds pretty nice when you're cruising. Crack it wide open, boy, you know you're coming. I tell you, you just can't beat the way a Road King handles, man. I love it. 100% my favorite Harley-Davidson platform outside of the FXR. For good reason, it's pretty much an FXR. I always feel weird passing a dude on a sport bike on a Harley because I feel like he's gonna take it as some kind of weird challenge and then try to like speed past me to prove a point or something. I'm just gonna pass and he's gonna be like, oh hell no! Bro, I promise I'm not trying to prove a point. This is just the speed I'm going. Okay, he's not gonna do a flyby, all right. Like, please, dude. I promise, man. I am merely proceeding. Maybe that's mean of me to think that. You know, I put plenty of miles down on sport bikes. My very first motorcycle was a GSXR 750, which I think that's what my man was on back there. Some sort of GSXR. I ride adventure bikes. I ride Gold Wings. And I ride everything in between. Dual sports, dirt bikes. It don't matter to me. I just like bike, baby. The only reason I say, holy mackerel. The only reason, that's a choice that you made right there. Stay away from that car, dude. That's danger waiting to happen on the road. Anyway, as I was saying, the only reason I say like, I just always hesitate to pass a dude on a clapped out GSXR when I'm on a Harley Davidson that's kind of loud. I hesitate to pass them for worry of them doing 140 mile an hour flyby to prove a point after I do it. Not because I always expect that at a sport bike ride. I've got some chip on my shoulder against them. It's just that it has happened more times than I can count. And the fact that that guy didn't do it definitely puts him in the minority. A cynical viewer right now might be asking themselves, Shade Tree, well, might be asking me rather, they might be saying, Shade Tree, if you're so busy, you got so much stuff to do, you got 10 things to do and time to do 5, what the hell are you doing riding a raffle bike down to Ybor City? Specifically down to the Dirty Shame to have a beer. Oh, I'm doing that because it is Kirby, one Rats and Wrath frequent collaborator with the Shade Tree Surgeon channel, and of course my very good friend Mike Wizard Overcomb on Instagram, who's been on the channel for years and years and years. That is her husband. I was about to say boyfriend, that's her husband. Anybody who's ever been to the Shame probably knows who Kirby is, or you might be wearing a Brapstar shirt that she helped design. Or maybe you're wearing a Rats and Wrath shirt. That Hang In There Baby shirt sold pretty well. Anyway, I digress. They're moving to Tennessee. They're people I love very much, and they're people that in the past 6 months I have not spent near as much time as I would like to. And today's their going away party at the Dirty Shame. And guess what, baby? I might have 10 things to do. I might have time for 5. But when it comes to picking which 5 I'm going to do, at the very least, I still get to pick which 5 I'm going to do. And this is one of them. You know what, guys? After I talked earlier before hopping on the Teal Deal, the Road King giveaway for Forgotten Angels, and talking about how I don't have any time and I don't know when Shay's bike's gonna get fixed, might be not till next month because I'm so busy, I just said, you know what, man, Petrie, that sounds like a load of BS. And man, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. I haven't stopped thinking about it since. So let's just go ahead and make that not bull crap. All right, team, well, the Green Goblin does, in fact, run and ride. It's spitting, it's coughing, it's popping, a little bit of brake clean on the intake, and I think we've got some leaky intake seal. Not a job that takes a long time or one that's very hard, but one that you have to be really careful about because you can put new intake seals in and mess it up and make the problem even worse than it was before. So fingers crossed. Well, maybe it's a little less work than I thought. Talked to Joe real quick before I started tearing this thing apart, and he goes, hey, doesn't that thing have a Mikuni flat slide on it? I said, yeah, it sure does. He said, well, if you're experiencing symptoms that can be the same as bad intake seals, but you've got a Mikuni on there, why don't you go ahead and check where that power jet's set up, because the manual says to set it about a 1/4 inch above right here, and he said it should be damn near touching. He goes, when you set it a 1/4 inch above, especially when you're first running the bike, which is what I did, that it'll exhibit those same kind of symptoms. So it was set up high. I went ahead and took it down low. I'm gonna slap the air cleaner back on it and ride the bike around to make sure that it just wasn't something that stupid before I go pulling that intake manifold off. Trust me, I know it's very unlike me to check for something like that. Usually I just do the job once or twice, sometimes even 3 times, maybe just for practice, but this time I think we're gonna go ahead and check. We got the power jet set up to be way down low, and Joe actually walked me through a better way to set up this Mikuni carb than I probably had it set up. So we should be dialed in now. So if we're still having problems, it's definitely intake seals. Though I'll tell you, if your Sportster doesn't start like this, no throttle, not even a pump shot. If your Sportster don't start up like that, that probably means that Joe the Mountain Jedi didn't tune your carburetor. Or at least Joe the Mountain Jedi didn't walk you through tuning your carburetor over the phone. Well, no spitting, no coughing, so far so good. So I also had the idle air mixture on this thing kind of out of whack, which definitely could have been causing my coughing and spitting, running lean. I'll be totally honest with you guys, I don't know that much about Mikuni flat slides. I like the way they perform, but I don't know that much about them. But for everything I don't know, Joe knows twice as much. Twice as much as nothing is still nothing. But anyway, he knows a lot more than me. Yeah, I'd say that makes a difference. Oh, would you look at that? That can't be good. You know, all of a sudden when you get 5 neutrals in a row, usually it's not because the transmission the transmission gave out. Yeah, there's supposed to be a belt there. Well, I've pushed heavier bikes farther. Well, this certainly isn't a motorcycle. This is a 2008 Mitsubishi Eclipse. With that boat anchor they call an engine that they also stuck in the PT Cruiser, I believe, and this thing was 100% for free. It is rough. There is things living, things growing, an entire ecosystem in here. Just the beautiful circle of life living inside this Eclipse. Well, we're gonna do our best impression of the Marines from Avatar and take care of that. In the words of Ernest P. Worrell, ew. This is gonna take a little bit of elbow grease. There's about 2 inches of water on the floor of this thing. We got our work cut out for us. I've been feeling around inside the Mitsubishi and this girl's got bumps, so we're gonna go ahead and double bag it. We'll call that one a goner. Believe it or not, it's getting better. Luckily, we do have some spare parts here, and they tell a story, as in there's a timing belt. Now, this is an interference engine, but Joe the Mountain Jedi already checked it out and actually broke the balance shaft, which broke the crank position sensor, which then broke the timing belt. So luckily, all of that stuff happening together kept it from bending a valve. Crank position sensor too. Ooh, that is full of water. Hey, none of this stuff is Joe's fault. He just gave me the car. And I don't blame him for not wanting to tackle this. He's got enough on his plate taking over Ranwin Park at his own house right now. Ooh, that stinks. All right, about time to empty our jug again. Well, the front driver's seat might be able to be saved. I think that the passenger seat is gonna have to be replaced, and I might even have to cut it out of there. I can't even get it to slide back right now because the mechanism is all rusted shut down there.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
Well, team, we are encountering higher than expected enemy resistance of the 6, 8, and 4-legged variety inside the Eclipse there. We didn't expect the shit to be this hairy, so we're gonna have to go with a scorched earth policy. Fire in the hole. Well, we're gonna leave the war crimes and the eclipse back there to percolate for a minute. Go work on the boat. Last time I took it out, the trailer had only one light left on it, and that light didn't work. So that's really not gonna fly. I really don't want somebody rear-ending my 60 horsepower Johnson. This Johnson does the rear ending, okay? It doesn't get rear-ended. So let's go ahead and put some tail lights on here so people know which way it swings. I know my privilege is showing right now, but probably the most annoying thing about working on Maximum Brown is walking back and forth from the garage if I forget a tool. So I think I'm gonna get a tool set for the boat, something that I can put in some kind of waterproof container out here and always in the boat that I can kind of count on so I don't have to do so much trudging. I love adventures, but I hate to trudge. Instructions? Ha! I'm just kidding. Hopefully this is enough wire to wire the whole thing. It would appear as though some pesky do-gooder, some goody two-shoes actually internally wired this thing. I probably wouldn't have if I'm being totally honest with you guys, because eventually I'm gonna pull the boat on block, blast the trailer, get rid of the rust if I can, and repaint it. So I probably would have internally wired it, but even I can't force myself to not internally wire it when whoever did this before took the time to do it. So I guess we're gonna pull it through. What the fuck? This is already going swimmingly. I can actually like wire fish this shit through here. What the fuck's in there? Well, what's in there is a ton of rust. All right, there we go. There's one through. You know, it really takes a special kind of mind to take a 15-minute job and turn it into a 30-minute long video. I promise I'm not trying to do that. I swear. All right, bastard. All right, we'll get some Nick Diorio to keep us company. Let's finish this up. I don't want to talk too much shit because I'm certainly not perfect, but I'm better than that, I'll say. Oh, these things are a little stuck in there. There we go. Oh, dang, dude, I was talking shit, but this kit actually comes with these. We won't actually be using these. We'll heat shrink it, but it actually comes with these. I think I've got a little bit of welding to do back here. Well, okay, well, let's say it in order. Some cutting, some grinding, then some welding, then some grinding, then some painting. Oh well, for a $1,500 boat, I'll do it.
Take the just the fucking option.
Back at the boat ramp with Maximum Brown. If you guys saw the previous episode where I was working on it and I got distracted, it's a good distraction by packing shirts to send out to you guys, all the Brapstar orders that me and Shaylisi were doing. I didn't do all the stuff to the boat that I wanted to, but we've taken it out with doing nothing to it, so I think we're fine, right?
Why is it Maximum Brown?
Because it's so brown.
Is that its name?
It's its name for now. I think we'll probably do a different paint job that's not quite as brown.
Is Starcraft the kind of boat it is, or is that its name?
That's like it's like a Ford.
I thought the name was Starcraft, so I was gonna be like Star
Wars. Anyway, so I'm gonna walk Shaylisi. She's not ready to back it in, but the stuff you do to the boat before you even start backing it up. Now, this is kind of rich coming from me. This is definitely a case of the dumb leading the stupid right now. It's better when you teach. It makes you remember stuff. So you always pull off. You never just directly go up to the boat ramp, because there's always stuff you want to get ready before you put the boat in the water. Like, we want to put our fishing poles on. We want to put our top up. We want to basically have the boat completely ready to take off when it goes in the water.
Sense.
That way, if anybody else comes up and they want to get in, we're not like dicking around with our stuff inside the boat.
Being
we can get out. Yeah, we could get out of the way. They can get in the water.
Also, I'm not
We're not pissing
stupid.
anybody off.
I'm just a girl.
Then I'll be stupid. You can be dumb.
No, I'm not dumb. I'm just a girl.
First thing you do, and always remember, and never forget, is put the plug in the boat. Is this guy right here. Step number one, always.
Put its butt plug in?
Gotta put its, oh, there it goes. A butt plug on the ground of a boat ramp, not that weird of a sight in Florida.
Where does its butt plug go?
Where do you think? In the butt. So pull that lever out into the back so it's facing straight. Now stick it in there. Spin Spit on it first.
I can't, I have cotton mouth.
Nope, try again.
Oh, like down here?
Yeah, yeah, wrong hole. All right, no, no, now don't screw it in, now shove it in. There you go. Harder, harder. You hear that moan?
Right.
Now it's in. Twist it, because twisting it is what expands it so it doesn't come out. So twist it until it gets tight, because you're gonna lock it in facing up so we don't hit it on the bottom. Yeah, now push it up. Because if it's facing down, what if we hit like a rock or a stick or something,
sense,
you know?
A piece of rubber on something that you can put on the outside of that hurts my little fingies, and I'm just a girl.
You need
what if I'm
gloves
out here
then.
by myself?
I don't think you're ready yet. We'll work on it. Now let's go ahead and raise our bimini top.
What about our Garmin? Does that need to be down?
We don't have a Garmin. That was from the previous owner, and it's no, they
fucking took it with them?
no, I don't think he had it. I think that's long not lived in the boat. All right, hop in there.
StarCraft. I played Protoss. My boyfriend played Terran, and he was in Masters League, but only in the Western Hemisphere because that's different than the Koreans. They have their own league.
All right. See where it hooks in over there?
Yeah.
Set it on the ground.
How heavy is 6 gallons?
Gas is actually lighter than water,
I
so
know,
a
but
little
sometimes
lighter.
sometimes you'll say something like a measurement like foot-pounds, and I'm like, those are two different kinds of
No, this is-
like measurements. How can those both be the same thing?
Different gallons of liquids
So,
weigh very different amounts.
Maybe something's
I don't know how much it weighs. Anyway, haul it off there. You can just kind of slide it directly on the ground. Stick it on.
where?
Use your monkey brain. Okay. Squeeze the bulb a few times. Now that's priming it.
How many times?
That's
Do-
good.
Do I
Yeah,
need
that's
to do it
fine.
until it's full?
Now you can slide the whole thing in there.
A lot of times, usually are just like, hey, here are the things you need to do.
I know, I'm making you do them. It's a better way to learn.
I know, but usually you don't do that. Why are you doing it this time? Because it's heavy?
The next thing you want to do is make sure your lines are free and coiled up on the side of the boat. That way, when we put the boat in the water, you're not going like, oh God, where are the lines? How do I do this?
Oh God, what are my lines?
Our lines are ready. The top is up. The pump is primed. We're ready to rock and roll. Last thing, unhook the safety latch from the boat.
I'm rocking and rolling, sorry.
So, yeah,
I
don't
was taking an extra
ahead of
minute
yourself,
to rock
dude.
and roll.
No, you got ahead of yourself.
You
with
said
the
I can rock and roll. You said we're ready to rock and roll, and then, so I was taking the minute to rock and roll.
I guess
All
that's
right.
fair.
So
All right.
now what?
Take that off. And they have very cleverly, since this is broken and rusted shut, they very cleverly put another one on there. So you just take that one off. That's it.
Oh,
A previous owner was a
yeah.
nice guy, dude. I mean, this is a $1,500 boat. I'm not complaining. He was a good dude, and he gave us a good deal on this boat. So I told him about the channel, so he's watching the videos now. So I can't be like this idiot, because he was really a nice guy. And also, if this broke and I couldn't get it off, I probably would have just done that too. So
Yeah, so you can't
I am
even
not
blame
hating.
him.
Yeah, I'm not hating, dude. I would have done that shit.
Can't hate the player, hate the game.
So is there like a
Yeah, it's
thing? See that
pissing.
stream?
Yeah, it's pissing. So if there's no piss, things are amiss.
Dude, yes, you're getting it. Maritime, things have to rhyme. So I've got it completely in neutral now, so you're in complete control. I think that was pretty damn smooth, Shay. Good job.
Yeah, dude.
We heard you. This is also a no wake zone, sir. I hope you're responding to an emergency. Slow down.
Josh, officers are not exempt from having to abide by the law, man. That's God's law even, because it's protecting nature. Vietnam was from 61 to 75. Are you fucking joking? Was it World War II like 40 years?
Yeah, Vietnam was we're old, like young enough to not know what Vietnam was when it started, and old enough to go die in it before it was over. Like your entire life, all you knew was like this overarching idea of war over your head, and then you got sent to it. It's a very,
It's a whole
it builds
culture. That's why we're fucking, my generation is a bunch of softies.
It's not even boomers though, because it's like the later ones. So you're talking about people who went in like the later years in like the 70s as teenagers. They had literally the idea of the Vietnam War and dying in war because it was televised and horrible and everybody was against it. What we had to draft was literally this doom was hanging over their heads their entire life.
It's like, well, I
and
can't
then they
even...
turned and they're like, please let it be over before I turn 18. Jesus fucking Christ. And then they turn 18 and they're like, it's not over.
War. So it's like our youth wouldn't even plan for college, right?
If you went to college, you didn't have to go. A lot more people went to college.
I would be going to college. I'm studying
Surely.
literally anything.
But you gotta imagine.
Liberal arts.
That's why it's like the poor, the uneducated, middle America, small town. You gotta imagine like the malaise and the forgottenness. And they come back and everyone, when Vietnam soldiers came back, people were like, you're fucking babies. So where you can look at it as World War II shaped our country, Vietnam did as well, just because it created a lot of the small town ostracization from big cities. Time to pull the butt plug out and see how much water got in there. We didn't do a lot of filming out there, but we're still just practicing.
Do I get to take it out?
Yeah, you get to take it out.
Such a lucky girl.
Give it a yank, wait for the moan.
Ew. Dude, if
Called
that's what
nature.
happens when you pull your butt plug out, something's wrong. See a doctor.
And now let us gaze into the abyss. Let us experience, let us witness the horrors that I have unleashed upon this world.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Well, the only thing left alive in here is the mold. Let's get a fan in this thing and see if we can't salvage the floor. The sis seat right here, I'm pretty sure is gonna have to be replaced. The driver's seat, I think, is gonna be okay. What I'm really worried about is that floor having too much mold built up in the foam to ever be usable. Thought I vacuumed all the water out of it. Apparently there's enough water just left in there that it's actually got another puddle down there. Let me vacuum that out. Well, I didn't want to wait around on the Sportster, but I guess the belt would have broken anyway. I don't know. You never know when those things are going to go. I'm not really the biggest fan of belts. They're quiet. They're no maintenance. They're nice in a lot of ways, but in a lot of other ways, just not the biggest fan, just because you never know when they're going to break. At least a chain, you can tell when it's worn out. You can replace it on the road. Like, you got to take stuff apart to do a belt. So we're going to have to wait on the Sportster once again, but what we're waiting for is for our TC Bros chain conversion kit. In the interest of not waiting around anymore, as long as we're on the subject, what about this little bike? Remember I said I had some plans for this thing? Well, no time like the present, right? Right. You know, even with this thing back here, I think they still make a BMW GS tank that holds more than all this combined. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's further GSify this thing. Can't really remember what side the battery's on, even though I've done this before. I think it's over here. Anyway, it's a 50-50 shot. Cool. Only one thing left to do now. Let's fill her up, baby. What I'm really worried about putting 12 gallons of gas on here is my fat ass already weighs 300 pounds and I'm probably way over the weight limit of this motorcycle supposed to be carrying. 12 gallons of gas ain't exactly light, but I've been seeing videos of these things all over Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand. They're putting like oxen and hogs and freaking 36 bales of hay and their 16 cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, grandmas, and kids on these things. I think I can put 12 gallons of gas and one well-fed American on it. Or at least it only seems fair, right? I mean, one well-fed American is about the size of 3 grown women from Thailand. So, I mean, I've seen them ride bikes like this all the time together. Almost 14 gallons. Only says it takes 12. I didn't quite fill it up all the way. Let's see if I can still hit my personal best of 57 miles an hour on this thing. Ooh, I can definitely tell it's back there. All right. Ramming speed, baby. What you got? We can at least do 50. Can we hit 55 still? It's kind of dicey, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it'll at least do 50 miles an hour. I can do 50. Okay, can I do 50 without having it cracked wide open? That's my real question. Yeah, I can do 55 without having it wide open. Easy peasy. Come on, baby. The XR150, I never doubted it. 55, no problemo. Honda builds them tough. Made for a Pacific Islander, but tough enough for a dirty hobo swamp wizard. So I might have been just a little eager putting 14 gallons of gas in this thing because we're leaking around the fuel gauge here, and part of me is tempted just to block that off because I really don't need it, but whatever. All right, that just gives me a reason to try taking some of the gas out of it with my fill-up solution, which is for a boat, but this is a gas tank for a boat too. Uh-oh. Well, yep, that was too full. Okay, let's get that in there. I found where it was leaking from. Yeah, never mind. It was not leaking around this gasket. It was leaking out of that. Okay, well there, now it's not leaking anymore, so I guess I can put 14 gallons in it. Perfect. Now, let's see if my elegant solution works. This was supposed to have a siphon effect, which it is sort of having. Well, that's not really working, is it? All right, quick trip up to Harbor Freight, and I have another solution, hopefully. Let's see if, well, as I spill gas everywhere, let's see if this one works a little bit better. All right. That works a whole hell of a lot better. Still gonna take me a minute to fill it up with this pump, but it's a lot better than using that little squeeze bulb. I'm not sure why I can't get a siphon action on here. Hey, like they say, it ain't stupid if it works, right? Well, I mean, it might still be a little stupid even when it does work, but you get what I'm saying. See if I can actually get this gas out of here instead of spilling it everywhere this time. Cool, it works. Kind of, sort of. Well, you might be asking, why am I doing this? Why do I have a 12-gallon gas tank sitting on the back of an XR150? Well, I will have answers to those questions. They're just not going to be answered in this video. But stay tuned, because they're going to be answered in a video that's coming very, very soon. It's either going to work and be a ton of fun, or it's going to fail miserably and be an absolutely awful time, and probably nothing in between. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you've got the notifications on, make sure you've got the bell on. I appreciate everyone who does that. It means a lot to me. It helps out a lot on the channel because we got some really cool stuff coming up soon and I don't want you all to miss it. We'll see you in that video. Until then, keep it weird, y'all.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree? Army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.